Yes, a very good morning to all of you. Right, so all of you there joined in. Yes, on time, 9 o'clock, all set for studying professional ethics regarding when the chartered accountant would be guilty and when he would not be guilty of professional misconduct. Right, just wanted a confirmation from you regarding the audio, video, and the connectivity. Is it all good? Right, I hope there are no issues with the connectivity. All good, everyone? Okay, right. So what all did we discuss yesterday? Right. So we completed with our discussion on the disabilities for membership, like when you cannot become a member of the ICAI. Then after you become a member and you don't pay your annual membership fees, or like you don't you're guilty of professional misconduct or other misconduct, or punishable with imprisonment for any offense involving the moral turpitude, right? Then your name could be removed from the register of the members. And say if you've not paid the annual fees, then the name would be removed. And whenever you pay the annual fee, the entrance fee and the additional fee, then your name will be restored into the register of members. Right? Name would be removed when any member is dead, or he sent a request that I want my name to be removed, or he's been found guilty or any moral turpitude or so. Right. Then after that, we came to the significance of the COP, that is the certificate of the practice. Right. So what does it say? Okay, once you are a chartered accountant, you're bound by the provisions of the Chartered Accountants Act and the regulations there too. Right. So once you are a CA, you cannot practice in any separate capacity from that of a CA. Right. So say some guilty, and that is why the ICAI has told you to surrender your COP. Right. So for that period, when your COP has been surrendered, can you represent the client before the various authorities? Right, we studied a case study for this one. No, what did we say? You cannot represent the client before the taxation or any financial costing authorities also. Right, because you cannot practice in a capacity separate from your capacity to practice as a chartered accountant. Right, so that was the significance of the COP. That was section 6. Okay. Then after that, we came to section 7, which was regarding members to be known as chartered accountants. Right, nothing in addition thereto or nothing in substitution thereof. Right, so if a chartered accountant, if he is also a cost accountant, can he write cost accountant? No, but can he write ACMA? Yes. Right, then chartered accountant along with the firm name, can he write that they are legal advisors or tax advisors or financial advisors? No. What did we say? Nothing in addition thereto or nothing in substitution thereof. Right, can a CA write that he is a member of parliament? No. Can he become a member of parliament? Yes. But can he write on professional documents? No. Right, then after that, foreign accountancy bodies, can he mention that he is a member of the foreign accountancy bodies if it is recognized by the central government or if it is recognized by the council? So where ICAI has entered into a mutual recognition agreement, MRA, or a MOU, a memorandum of understanding, then those foreign accountancy bodies can be mentioned. Okay, and so that was section 7, members to be known as chartered accountants. More about section 7 we will study when we go to the clause 7 of the part 1 of the first schedule. Okay, right. Then after the section 7, we also discussed section 2.2. Right, what was section 2.2? Members who are deemed to be in practice. Right, what did we say? A member of the institute, right, whether individual, a member of the institute shall be deemed to be in practice when individually or in partnership with other CAs in practice or members of such other professions as may be prescribed, he in consideration of remuneration received or to be received engages in the practice of accountancy, or does the auditing verification work, or renders the professional services, and most important, the 224, renders such other services as in the opinion of the council may be rendered by a CA in practice. And then the council has passed a resolution that the term other services includes the management consultancy and other services. And then we saw a list of 28 points regarding what is included in the list of the management consultancy and the other services. Like we said, financial management planning, working capital, capital budget, revenue budget, inventory handling, right? Personal recruitment and selection, right? Then you remember we said AC installation, you remember? right? Yes, acting as advisor, consultant to an issue, allowed. Pre-issue, during issue, post-issue activities, drafting of prospectus, selection of brokers, selection of ad agencies, allowed. But what is not allowed? What is not allowed? PUB, right? The pub is not allowed, right? Broking, underwriting, and the portfolio management services are not allowed to be provided by a practicing chartered accountant, right? Portfolio management services, underwriting, and the broking, right? These services are not allowed. Relatively, what is newly added over there is the acting as a registered valuer, allowed. Acting as an insolvency professional, allowed. And administrative services, which are clerical, routine in nature, which involve limited or no judgment, mechanical in nature, even that is considered to be deemed to be in practice. Let's say you're doing word processing for services, you're filling the form, you're submitting the form, you're reminding the client of the due dates, or you are, working as a GST practitioner, or you're helping the client with any of such, right? It says even this administrative services will be included in the list of the MCOS, right? Management consultancy and other services. Right. Then what did we say? Okay, generally a CA, he can practice as an individual, as a firm, and as an LLP. So your traditional practice you can do through these three modes. Right. But only exclusively for the purpose of rendering the management consultancy and other services, CA can now constitute the. Yes, everybody keep typing whenever you are able to get the point, so that I come to know that you are in sync with me, that CA can incorporate a MCC, exactly, the management consultancy company, which has to be approved and registered with the institute. Can CA be the whole-time director, managing director, manager of this MCC? Yes. Can he hold the full equity along with his relatives of this company? Yes. Can he also retain his full-time COP? Yes. Can he continue to train the article? Yes. Right, but whatever services you cannot provide through your individual or firm, that services also you cannot provide through the MCC. Like the prohibited services under 144, you should not also be providing them through your MCC. That is the management consultancy company also. Right, so management consultancy company given under chapter 17 of the Council General Guidelines, right, which talks about that it is to be created exclusively for the purpose of rendering the management consultancy and other services, right? So that's the corporate form of practice now, which is allowed for the chartered accountants. Okay, right. Then after that we came to section 25, which is regarding companies not to engage in accountancy, right? So CA should not do his practice as attestation audit practice in the corporate form, right? And any LLP which has a company as a partner, even that LLP cannot be appointed as an auditor, right? Even that LLP cannot be appointed as an auditor, right? So this is what we had discussed. After that we came to discussion of section 27, exactly, which was regarding the maintenance of the branch offices, right? Office of a CA, wherever a name board or a name plate of the firm has been fixed, that is the office of the CA, right? Wherever the address is mentioned on the stationery, that is the office of the CA, right? Can a CA have more than one offices? Yes, but what is the golden rule? That each office of the CA should be under the roof, under the ceiling. No, what it should be under? It should be under the sky, under the sun. No, it should be under the, yes, it should be under the, anything? Any guess? It should be under the, yes, I'm waiting. I'll wait for you. Let the buffering happen and let the stream reach to you. Then let you type and let it come back to me. I'll wait. Right? Each office of a CA should be under the separate charge of a member of the institute, right? So not separate control, maybe more appropriate, or ICAI technical word over there would be separate charge, right, of a member of the institute. That member of the institute may be your partner or he may be your employee. But what is required is the active association. At least 182 days you should be residing in that place, or at least 182 days you should be attending office over there. Are you understanding that? Separate charge of a member of the institute. This is the golden rule, right? This is the thumb rule. But then we have the exemption, the exceptions, okay, where no separate charge is required. One, for those chartered accountants who are practicing in the hilly areas, right? So there are regular offices in the hilly areas. They can have a temporary office, and a regular office and temporary office. They can have a temporary office in the plain areas not exceeding 3 months in a year. Regular office let not be closed. The nameplate of the firm should be put outside the temporary office only for the period when you're functioning from there. Temporary office address should not be mentioned on the stationery of the CA firm, right? It should not be mentioned on the stationery of the CA firm, the temporary office address. And the day when you start operating from the temporary office and after you close your temporary office, you have to send an intimation to ICAI by registered post acknowledgement due. This intimation to ICAI has to be sent for any additional office opened or closed by you. Right, so that is the exemption for chartered accountants who are practicing in the hilly areas. And second set of exemption is for all practicing chartered accountants. What does it say? Okay, second office, right? So first office and second office. So the exemption is only for the second office. That no need for the second office to be in charge of a separate member of the institute if the second office is located in the same, correct, accommodation or premises, or it is located in the same city, correct, or if it is located, yes, within 50 kilometers from the municipal limits of the city in which the first office is located, right? Within 50 kilometers from the municipal limits of the city in which the first office is located. Right? So that is the exemption for all practicing chartered accountants. Okay. What is the restriction on the signboard to be put by the CA? So outside the firm, you can put the firm signboard, name board, and outside the residence, you can put the individual member nameplate. Right? The individual member nameplate. Okay. Right? So that was regarding section 27, the maintenance of the branch offices. Okay, then we came to KYC norms for CAs in practice. It is mandatory that CA, before you accept any client, provide any services to any client, you first do the KYC of the client, right? So your client could be an individual, your client could be a corporate entity, or your client could be a non-corporate entity. General information, engagement information, and for corporate entity, you also have the regulatory information. Do you remember the word which I had given you? The term KYC is equal to, KYC is equal to, yeah, you're right. You're always right. Right? It is NPBC. What is NPBC? Name of the entity, name of the individual or so. Right? Then PAN, Aadhaar, director's DIN, then company SIN, director's name and address, partner's name and address, and all, name of parent company if it's a subsidiary. Right? Then B is the business description, and then the copy of the last audited financial statements. Right? So N is the name, P is the PAN, Aadhaar, and all of that. B is the business description, and C is the copy of the last audited financial statements. Under type of under engagement information, you have to give the type of the engagement. Right? So that was the KYC norms for CAs in practice. Okay. Then after that we said, oh, your client wants to file a complaint against the CA, or one CA wants to file a complaint against another CA. So yes, can you file a complaint? Yes, the complaint can be filed with the Disciplinary Directorate of ICAI. There is a director discipline who will go through the complaint and check whether it is related to the first schedule or the second or the both schedule. If it is related to the first schedule, the matter would be further referred to the disciplinary board, that is the board of discipline. And second or both schedule, the matter would be referred to the disciplinary committee. Right? What are the actions which can be taken by the board of discipline? If the member is found to be guilty of a professional or other misconduct, reprimand the member, remove the name of the member up to a period of 3 months, or impose the fine of up to rupees 1 lakh. And second or both schedule, disciplinary committee, reprimand the member, remove the name of the member permanently or for any period, or impose the fine of up to rupees 5 lakh. Okay, not happy, director, discipline, or member is not happy with the order passed by the disciplinary board or the disciplinary committee, then they can make an appeal to the appellate authority within 90 days. Okay, right. So that was the disciplinary mechanism of the ICAI. Right. Then we came to the discussion of the section 22, which talks about two types of misconduct: the professional misconduct and the other misconduct, which is mainly discussed under the two schedules to the Chartered Accountants Act. Right. The first schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act and the second schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act. Right. Under the first schedule, we had part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Under the second schedule, we had part 1, part 2 and the part 3. Right, part 1, first schedule, professional misconduct, CA in practice. You remember we have written PMCA in P. Right, so professional misconduct, CA in practice. Part 2, first schedule, professional misconduct, CA in service. Part 3, first schedule, professional misconduct generally, means applicable to all chartered accountants. And part 4, first schedule, is other misconduct generally. Right, it is the other misconduct, again applicable to all CAs. Right, so 12, 2, 3 and 2. Those are the 19 clauses under the first schedule. And then second schedule, part 1 is professional misconduct for CA in practice. Then part 2, second schedule, professional misconduct generally. That means again applicable to all CAs. And part 3, second schedule, other misconduct generally, in which we have 10, 4 and 1 clause. Right, clear to all of you? Right, and then we started with our discussion on the part 1 of the first schedule. What did we say? Whenever the question is regarding the part 1 of the first schedule, how do we start our answer? As per clause dash, like say it's 1. So as per clause 1 of part 1 of first schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act 1949, a chartered accountant in practice is deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he. And then what did I tell you? Every clause we have to appreciate what is the misconduct and what are the exceptions. Right? So under 111, what is the misconduct? If he allows any person to practice in his name. So if I allow anybody to practice in my name, right, then I would be guilty. Unless, so who I can allow to practice in my name? Unless such person is also a CA in practice and is in partnership or employed by him. Right, and is in partnership or employed by him, then that person can practice in the name of the CA. Right, so we saw one Sant Panth question, and then one I told you Institute Study Material 19.43, and a brother-in-law and employee, that particular question. Right, then after that we came to just started our discussion on the clause 2, part 1 of the first schedule. Does anybody remember what I talked about? Yes, doctors, you remember doctors getting a cut referral, from the medical store, from the diagnostic lab, from the other doctor, specialized doctor and all of that, cut practice. So doctor is getting a share or giving a share over there. Right? So here also, what does it say? For CA, giving of such share or such cut is not allowed. Right? So how does 211 start? As per clause 2 of part 1 of first schedule. How do you write 2? Number. How do you write 1? Roman. How do you write first? You spell it FIRST. Right? So clause 2 of part 1 of the first schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act 1949, a chartered accountant in practice is deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he pays or allows or agrees to pay or allow directly or indirectly any share, commission or brokerage in the fees or profits of his professional business to any person other than. Right, so if I share the fees or profits of my professional business as share, commission, brokerage, I will be guilty of professional misconduct under 211. But with whom can I share my fees with? Yes, you know that. With whom can I share my fees with? ICAI member, wonderful. Then partner, okay. Then retired partner, okay, amazing. Legal representative of a deceased partner, right? But what is the condition? It should be mentioned in the partnership agreement and also the period should be specified. And what if the sole proprietor dies? Right, then the sale has to be, then it is the sale of business, which has to be done by legal representative, which is nothing but the sale of goodwill. Even the right to use the firm name can be sold. The sale has to be completed within 1 year from the date of death of the proprietor. Right, within 1 year, in normal case where there is no dispute. If there is a dispute within 1 year, you have to inform ICAI there is a dispute going on, and then the sale has to be completed within 1 year from the date of settlement of the dispute. right? What if all the partners of the firm die? Then you need to apply the sole proprietorship sale ka provisions, right? Sale of goodwill, the provisions. Okay, right? So that is legal representative of a deceased partner. Then member of any other professional bodies, right? So we are talking about the other professional bodies, like say the Institute of Company Secretaries or cost accountants or bar council, architect, actuary, right? So the institute members of other professional bodies and the specified qualified persons, right? So that is regarding the what we had discussed so far till yesterday, right? This is one of the recipe, or this is one of the secret ingredient, right, for success in the audit paper, that is doing the revision, so that it gets more properly fit into your mind, right? So are we good? Right, so one of the students has written all the points. Super, super. Yes, same premise, same city, within 50 kilometer. Badhiya. Yes, you remember all this? We had discussed it yesterday. Right, so let's complete with our discussion on the part 1 of the first schedule. I'm sure all of you would be excited to know more about the further clauses over there. Right, is the audio video all good? I'm at a different location today, so I just wanted to check it from your side. Right, is it all fine? Right, no issues with the audio video, all good? Yes, just confirm that and then I continue with the discussion ahead. Okay. Okay. Right, so now let's come to the discussion on the, oh, I've encrypted the book also yesterday, so probably the module 2, because module 2 has the last chapter, chapter number 19, so that's the chapter which we are discussing right now. Okay, no issues, okay, all good. Okay.